All right. Welcome everyone to the El Toro La Liga show. Obviously, today is the start of La Liga in basically an hour from now, with the first games being ready to kick off. Look, it's going to be a really good season in La Liga. It seems like, yes, there's some teams need some registering and all that sort of stuff, but obviously today is the El Toro La Liga show, the first one of the season. Hopefully, I can do all of them for all of the season. Oh, I don't know why. I don't want this here. I don't want this here. Remove it. Remove it. No, not like that. Jesus. Look, this is a new software I'm trying to use, so hopefully it works. All right. Actually, you know what? Let's just move to this format. I think this is a lot better. Obviously, the show, what we're going to do is talk about the La Liga games for the upcoming game week. Obviously, this is game week 1, episode 1 of this current season, 24-25. And obviously, do let me know your thoughts and opinions in the live chat as well. And we might as well get started with the first game. Hopefully, the stream, this is a new stream. Hopefully it works well. The first game we have here is Girona against Rayo Vallecano in about an hour from now. Both of these sides have very contrasting fortunes over the past couple of seasons. Girona got Champions League football and now nearly got relegated. Rayo Vallecano nearly got relegated a couple of years ago, then got into the Conference League playoff. In terms of win probability, it says 42% Girona win, a 29% draw, and 29% Rayo Vallecano win. So more favorable for Girona. Now, some match insights. Girona have lost only one of the last 8 La Liga games against Rayo Vallecano. So pretty good record they have there against Vallecano. Now, Vallecano have not one of the last 4 visits against Girona. So kind of backs up that sort of stat. Girona have only lost only one of the last 6 games played on a Friday. So that seems to be a pretty damning stat for a team like Vallecano. But also, actually, both of these sides have done pretty well over the past couple of years in terms of difference of the season. Girona also have only won the last 8 home games in La Liga. Now, obviously, this is all last season as well. And Rayo Vallecano have not lost any of the last 5 La Liga games. Obviously, that is from last season. So, my prediction for this game, I do think that Girona are probably the more likely favorites to win. And I might actually say that Girona will win by, let's go just by a solitary goal, 1-0 Girona. That's my prediction, with that being the first game of the season. Now, next up we have here is Villarreal against Real Oviedo. Now, Real Oviedo obviously got promoted back into La Liga for the first time since, I believe, 2004. So it's been about, well, actually, I might be mistaken, but it's been over 20 years since Real Oviedo have been in La Liga. And obviously, this is a huge opportunity for them to get a win under the belt early on in the season. First time back in La Liga in over 20 years. But they're up against a Champions League side in Villarreal, who got that extra Champions League spot at the end of last season, finishing in fifth, and Spain got the extra spot. Though I do think that the win probability, if you look here, Villarreal at 69%, a draw at 19%, and Oviedo at 12%. This game is played tonight as well at 9:30 Spain time. I will be keeping a good eye on this game because obviously, look, I know I said in my La Liga prediction YouTube short that I made the other day that Oviedo will finish bottom, but honestly, I hope I'm proven wrong and Oviedo stay up this season. They're probably the club that I want to see a lot this season. But here we go. Only against Numancia have Villarreal have faced a side more while suffering defeat in La Liga, and that's only 2 wins and 2 draws against Real Oviedo when Oviedo were back in La Liga. But that's been over 20 years, so kind of a irrelevant stat, that one. Villarreal have not lost any of their 4 home games in all competitions against Oviedo, so pretty good record. Last time being in 1970, so nearly about, I believe, 55 years. Villarreal have lost only 1 of their 10 La Liga home games played on a Friday, that being a 1-0 loss to Girona back 7 years ago. And Oviedo have lost both of their top flight games on Friday, both away from home while scoring a goal. So not a good, some stats are not looking good for Oviedo. Villarreal have only won 1 of the last 10 opening games of the season. That obviously being against Valladolid couple 2-3 seasons ago, and have not won when starting the season at home. So look, Oviedo have a pretty decent shot of maybe getting something here. Not a good record for Villarreal. And after losing their opening match of La Liga in 5 consecutive seasons in the 90s, Oviedo have lost the first match in only 1 of the 4 seasons in the top flight. So some decent stats at the moment. However, I might go against history here. And I unfortunately do think that Villarreal might be just a little bit too strong for Oviedo. I might have to go with another 1-0 win. I think it'll be pretty tight in the game, but I do think Villarreal will win 1-0. That would be my prediction. Next up, we have tomorrow, Saturday night football. We have is Mallorca against Barcelona. But before we do, I will look at the chat. And big up to, when it appears, to Gio from Juve Cornercast. Big up. Thank you so much for joining, even if you're not going to be here all stream. Take Lloyd Kelly back. Well, you might as well give Lloyd Kelly to Barcelona, you know. But yes, going back into the La Liga game, Mallorca against Barcelona. Obviously, Barcelona won La Liga last season. Mallorca, past couple of seasons have been pretty decent. Obviously made the cup final a couple years back, nearly made it into Europe, finishing, I believe, 10th or 11th last season. So Mallorca are no slouches in La Liga this time around. And I do think, obviously, if you watch my La Liga prediction shorts, I said that Mallorca will be all right this season, probably around 11th or 12th, I believe I put them at. But yeah, look, Barcelona, 67% win probability, 19 for a draw, and the home side, Mallorca, only 14%. Obviously, you can't really look at the league table because the league will start in like 50 minutes. Only against Real Madrid have Mallorca suffered more La Liga defeats than against Barcelona. So, I mean, it's pretty obvious why that is. Now, Barcelona have won 14 away games against Mallorca in La Liga since the 21st century. Which is actually the joint best record they have. Barcelona have lost the opening La Liga match of the season only once in the last 16 seasons, that being a 1-0 loss away at Athletic Club in 2019. And I'm not sure, I think Barcelona actually ended up winning that season, 2019-20, I believe. Mallorca have lost only once of the opening La Liga match in the last 12 appearances, that being a 3-0 loss in 2008, drawing each of the last 4. So some decent stat there for Mallorca. And finally, Mallorca have lost 4 of the last 6 La Liga games. Only 1 win and a draw, which kind of hurt Mallorca's chances of potentially getting some form of Europe last season. And look, I do think that Barcelona might be a little bit of the strong side just for today. I know I said Barcelona will not win La Liga. I'm predicting them to finish second, but I do think they'll get off to a winning start. And I'm actually going with a 3-1 win for Barcelona. I just think that they're probably a little bit strong for tomorrow's game. Next up, we have over here. Let me just get things sorted here. All right. Next up, the next game we have also on Saturday night, we have is Alavés against Levante. Levante just got promoted back into La Liga. First time in about a couple or so years for them. So it's good to have them back in La Liga. Not really a sort of new team, but a team based in the Valencian community. Whereas Alavés have, past couple of seasons been a bit worrying for them. But I actually have a slight prediction. I think Alavés might actually survive. Not only survive, but actually finish in the top half. That's a bold prediction I have. I'm not even an Alavés fan, but I think Alavés this season might be a little bit of a surprise package in La Liga. Maybe not make it into Europe by the end of the season, but I do think they'll be all right. And if you look at the win probability, 44% Alavés win, 31% draw, 25% Levante win. And if you look at the table, Alavés are top. So only time they'll be top till by the end of the night. Alavés have lost only 1 of the last 7 La Liga matches against Levante, 4 wins and 2 draws. So pretty good record. But the last time they played them was a 3-1 away defeat at Levante at the end of the 21-22 season. As I said, it's been 3 years since Levante have been out of La Liga. Levante have won only 1 of the last 10 visits at Alavés. Really not a good record they have there. The last win being in December 2022. Actually, it's been 2 years. I forgot why. Levante have lost 7 of the last 9 visits at the Basque Country, País Vasco, and obviously we do have 3 Basque teams. Obviously Alavés from Vitoria-Gasteiz, we have Athletic Club from Bilbao, and Real Sociedad from San Sebastián. Funny how all of them don't even have the names of their cities. And finally, Alavés have lost the opening match of La Liga in each of the last 4 seasons, so not a good record they have. And finally, Levante have only won once in the opening match of La Liga, that being a 3-0 win away at Betis in the 2018-19 season. So my prediction for this game, I will probably have to say, look, I said Alavés might be a surprise package. I might have to stick with that. I'm going with a 2-1 win for Alavés. So that'll be my prediction, 2-1 for Alavés. All right, next up at that same time, we do have here, it is Valencia against Real Sociedad. Now, let me just quickly get it done. All right, Valencia and Real Sociedad. We'll also look at the chat as well. We have, I don't know why it's not appearing. Razmi Sharma says good night. Well, it's still a bit, it's still, well, actually, it's not really that sunny. I don't know why. Today's weather is odd. I don't know why. But as I said, Valencia against Real Sociedad in, obviously, the Mestalla. Now, I think both of these sides this season, I think, might actually do well this season. I said both of them will make the Europe, actually. I even said, Real Sociedad will make it into the Champions League. So we'll see how that goes. 37% win probability for Valencia, 33% for draw, and 30% for Sociedad win. Obviously, both of these sides are not in Europe. I am predicting both will make Europe. Valencia are coming off a 1-0 win against Sociedad in January 2025, last season, obviously. And having lost each of the last 3 encounters against them. Sociedad have won only one of their last 8 visits at Valencia. So not a good record they have there. Sociedad have picked up points in 3 of the last 4 visits against Valencian community clubs. And obviously we have 3 this time, not 2. We have obviously Valencia, we have Villarreal, and we have Levante. So we have 3 teams from the region of Valencia. Sociedad do have a pretty decent visit record at that ground, somewhat. Valencia have only lost their opening match of La Liga in the last 8 campaigns. Actually, that one being against Barcelona last season, though that was a 2-1 defeat. Sociedad have only won their opening match of La Liga in the last 6 seasons, a win, 3 draws, 2 losses, that one being a 1-0 away win at Cadiz a couple seasons, 2-3 seasons ago. So my prediction for this game, I think Valencia might be the ones with a hot open start, and I'm actually going with a 2-1 win for Valencia for tomorrow night's game. Look, I'm actually looking forward for that game, actually. So 2-1 Valencia is my prediction. Next up we have is, oh God, I don't even... But before we do, we might as well get to the chat. We have Charlie as well. Big up, obviously, Charlie. Obviously, I will be doing a show with Charlie. Actually, I'm doing 2 shows with Charlie. Main shows, you could say, where both of us are like the guest or whatever you want to call it. And he says the show is back. Yes, it's back. A little bit of an exclusive Friday, but going back on Thursday for match day 2 when it happens next week. But yeah, me and Charlie, we are doing a couple of shows. With the first show being on Monday. I might as well, I will announce it at the end of the show, what we are doing, and the other show that we're doing. But getting back into it, we have here is Celta Vigo against Getafe. Now, look, I'll be honest, I said Celta Vigo will make Europe again, and that's because I do think Celta Vigo will not do well in Europa League. I think they'll probably get eliminated in the league phase. I really do not rate Celta Vigo in Europe, but in the league. But anyways, besides the point, 55% win probability for Celta, 27% for a draw, and 18% for a Getafe win. Now, some insights. Celta Vigo have won the last 2 games against Getafe in La Liga, and obviously they've not done 3 in a row against the Alfilones in the top flight. Getafe have drawn, 42.8% of their games against Celta Vigo. So look, kind of a high probability this could be a draw, in my opinion. Celta Vigo have won the last 3. Have won only, I don't know why I can't even read. Try and zoom in here. Celta Vigo have won the opening La Liga match in 1 of the last 9 seasons, that being 2-1 away win at Alavés last season. Getafe have won the opening match of La Liga in 1 of the last 14 seasons. So both of these sides don't even fucking win the opening game. So you kind of know where my prediction's going. Celta Vigo have lost 2 of the last 4 home games against in La Liga. Twice as many defeats in the previous 9 before. So my prediction, because of that fact, I'm actually going with a 1-1 draw. 1-1 draw between the 2 sides. Celta Vigo, who I hope get relegated, even though I said they'll finish in a European place again. But 1-1 is my prediction. Next up we have here is Athletic Club against Sevilla. Now let me just quickly go to the chat, just quickly here. What's the streaming platform you're using? Well, it's the one that you showed me. It's Restream, or whatever you call it. I actually paid like $15, so like 13 something euros for 1 month, just to see how it's like. If I don't like it, I might just switch back to StreamYard. But yeah, speaking of that, let's get on back to the La Liga game. Obviously, we have one on Sunday, obviously, and that being Athletic Club against Sevilla. Now, both of these sides, different contrast of how their season went. Last season, Athletic Club nearly made it into the Europa League final. They finished in the top four, which is the first time in about 10 years that Athletic Club got into the Champions League. Meanwhile, Sevilla nearly got relegated. And if you saw my La Liga YouTube short, I said Sevilla might get relegated. Well, might be in a relegation battle again. 61% Athletic Club win, 24% for a draw, and 15% for a Sevilla win. Now, Athletic Club have not lost any of the last 4 matches against Sevilla. So not that good record for Sevilla. Athletic Club have not lost any of the last 2 home games against Sevilla. So we'll see if they can do it 3 in a row now. Sevilla have picked up points in the last 2 visits at the Basque Country. However, this is a almost completely different team of Sevilla. This Sevilla team is completely different. They are probably heading into the season as like what Valencia were last season. And I don't know if I can trust Sevilla to do well. They're in really deep trouble, Sevilla, this time around. You told me that about Valencia last season. I believed it. This season, it's Sevilla. I'll be honest. And I'm holding deodorant. I don't know why. Athletic Club have not won the opening match of La Liga in the past 5 seasons. And we talked about Barcelona. That was a 1-0 win against Barcelona in 2019. Sevilla have not won the opening match of La Liga in the past 3 seasons, after winning each of the last 4. But that was when they were a pretty decent side. Won the Europa League that season, I believe, as well. But my prediction for this game, I'm actually going with a huge scoreline. I am going to say it will be, I think it might get a little bit ugly for Sevilla. I'm actually going with a huge 4-0 win. I think it will be a 4-0 demolition of Sevilla. I'm a bit worried about Sevilla this season, and I think they'll start off on the wrong foot. That'll be my prediction. Now, a little bit more on the chat. Well, actually, yeah, it's from Charlie. Big up, obviously. So, yeah. Next up, we have here. Let me just get it sorted out. All right. The next game we have here, it is Espanyol against Atlético Madrid on Sunday night as well. Now, obviously, Espanyol, the big loss being Juan Prado. Not Juan Prado. Why am I talking about the striker? Juan Garcia. That's what I was thinking of. Garcia getting sold to Barcelona. So not really a thing there. Obviously, Catalonian clubs, Espanyol and Barcelona. Meanwhile, Atletico Madrid are looking to sign Nico Gonzalez. Make that what you will. But actually, both of these sides played Newcastle United in preseason last week. And both of them went unbeaten against us. So that's the thing. But win probability, 15% for Espanyol, 24% for a draw, 61% for Atletico Madrid win. Espanyol have not won any of the last 8 games against Atletico, so not a good record they have there. Atletico have picked up points in each of their last 4 visits at Espanyol in La Liga, a win and 3 draws, but I think it'll be a little bit different, a little bit more on the win side. Espanyol have not won the opening match of La Liga in the last 7 top-flight campaigns they've been in, that being against Getafe in August 2015, so 2015-16, so it's long, 10 years ago. Atletico have not lost the opening match of La Liga in the last 15 seasons, 8 wins, 7 draws. Last time being a loss at Malaga in 2009. So that was before Simeone. So Atletico have a very good record on the opening day of the season for them. Espanyol have not lost 2 of the last 3 home games in La Liga, but won the last one, obviously beating Las Palmas on the final day of the season, which actually did, I believe, kept Espanyol up in La Liga and finished, I believe, 15th, However, I do think that big loss of Juan Garcia might be a big one for Espanyol. I just don't really think that the new goalkeeper, I think it's Dimitrievski. I believe you guys might prove me wrong in the chat. I don't rate him as a goalkeeper, and I just think Atleti will get the job done. I'm going with I might see I'm going with a 3-0 win for Atletico. I just do not really see much in it for Espanyol this time around. So I'm going with Atletico Madrid win. Couple more games to go, and we have Monday Night Football coming at you. Obviously, before that, let me get to the chat. And obviously, as Charlie said, smash the likes up. Yes, spank. Yes, hit the like button. Obviously, it does help the channel, and subscribe. I'm around 12 subscribers away from getting 700 subscribers. So hopefully, get that. But as I said, Monday Night Football, Elche against Real Betis. Elche back in La Liga for the first time in, I believe, 3 seasons. So it was actually Levante 2 years. Elche 3 years out of La Liga. Real Betis, not yet confirmed whether they have the GOAT Anthony in his in the transfer window, but we'll find out by the end of the transfer window. But yeah, both of these sides, the green and white, you can say, of Spain in the top flight. Elche with a 28% win probability, 28% for a draw, 44% for a Betis win. Now, some insights. Elche have lost 2 of their last matches against Real Betis in La Liga, and have not lost 3 in a row against them. Real Betis have won the last 2 visits at Elche in La Liga, the same number of wins as in the previous 15 away before. Let me just zoom out here. Elche have not won the opening match of La Liga in the last 11 seasons. That being, seems like everyone can beat Barcelona. 1-0 win against Barcelona in 1973, so not a good record. Real Betis have not lost the opening La Liga match in the last 5 seasons, so they actually have a good record, as I said. Real Betis have lost only 1 of the last 36 games against newly promoted sides. That being a 1-0 loss to Valladolid in 2025. So look, that was against one of the most recent seasons, but Betis do have a good record against newly promoted sides, and I do think they'll keep that record going. I'll go with a 3-1 win for Real Betis in that one, unfortunately, for Elche. And then, not only do we have Monday Night Football, we have Tuesday Night Football. But before we do, let's get to the chat. Yeah, lol. Yeah, big up to Charlie as well, as I said. But yeah, next up we have is Real Madrid. Real Madrid against Osasuna. Real Madrid, Osasuna. Obviously, the final game of the first game week of La Liga. And look, I think both of these sides have something to prove. Obviously, Osasuna just missing out on European football last season, the side from Pamplona. Meanwhile, Real Madrid went trophyless in a way. Obviously, they won the Super Cup last season, but But I do think that Real Madrid will get off to a decent-ish start here. 78% chance Real Madrid win, 14% for a draw, and only 8% for Osasuna win. And we don't have the insights for the game, unfortunately. But yeah, I think Real Madrid, obviously with Xabi Alonso as the manager, new signings, and obviously I think you could say a big talking point is how good Real Madrid could start this season. If you remember last season, Real Madrid couldn't really start well, but obviously they eventually got second, kind of pushed Barcelona to the end there. Osasuna started the season really well, if you remember last season. However, I just think that overall, I think the quality of Real Madrid, and I think there's a lot to prove at Real Madrid this season. So I'm actually going with a 2-1 win for Real Madrid. 2-1 win for Real Madrid as my prediction. Now, how do I do that? Does that work? Ooh, okay. Now, now we're getting into the little half of the show. Obviously, please do hit the like button and subscribe. We're not done yet. We are not done yet. I have to share my screen because it's we're talking about Segunda, my favorite league. This season, obviously, Deportivo La Coruña in it. Don't mind the ads, doesn't matter. But hopefully, you guys can see right there. I can have it up. All right. So, oh, why is it? Okay. Should be like this, right? Trying to adjust it. All right. Well, that kind of works. All right. Let me just sort it out quickly. All right. So my Segunda Division predictions, and it's right here. And obviously, big up to AD. Let's see if you can actually chat here, right? But yeah, my Segunda League predictions, obviously, as I done last season, kind of went through the Segunda. Obviously, Deportivo, we're actually playing Granada away tomorrow night. I'm not going to the game because it's all the way down in Andalusia. I have no interest in going all the way down there. But yeah, my predictions, I'm going from top to bottom. So I think the two promoted sides by the end of the season, I'm predicting are going to be Almeria, going back after 2 years, and a little bit of, I don't know if you want to call it surprise because they have done well the past couple of years now. I'm predicting Racing Club Santander to get back into La Liga at last, not bottling it like they did over the past couple of seasons. So I think they'll somehow find the edge, Santander. And it'll be the first time in 14 years if they do get promoted back into La Liga next season. Let's see how that goes. Let's see. And it'll be the first time a team from Cantabria is back in La Liga for 14 years. In terms of the playoffs, I'm predicting to be Las Palmas, Granada, Deportivo La Coruña, obviously I have to put us there at least minimum, and Leganes. In terms of who I think will get promoted by the playoff, unfortunately, I don't think we will. I'm predicting Las Palmas. Maybe I can drag them up here. I'm predicting Las Palmas to win the playoff, basically. That's my prediction. And I think it'll be a Las Palmas Granada final in the playoff. I think we'll lose to Granada in the playoff, along with Leganes there. In terms of just the middle, just missing out, you can say on the playoff, I have in 7th place, I have Cadiz. 8th place, I have Sporting Gijón. I think they'll improve a little bit this season. Huesca in 9th. I think they'll be around the same area they were last season. Castellón will finish in 10th. So a top 10 finish for... sorry. A top 10 finish for Castellón is my prediction there. Eibar, not Eibar man, Eibar, I believe, will finish 11th. And I think the disappointment of the season will be Valladolid. I'm not been impressed with them, really. Valladolid, and I think that will continue. So 12th place for Valladolid. I don't think they'll do well. Now the teams just kind of above the relegation zone I have is Burgos in 13th, Malaga in 14th. So a little bit of a, you could say a stable season, kind of similar to last season, I would say, for Malaga. 15th I have is one of the, well, the first of the newly promoted sides, that being Cultural Leonesa. Obviously, I had the fortune of watching Leonesa like twice a couple of seasons ago. Saw them beat Lugo, but we did beat them Deportivo a couple of seasons ago when we both were in the 3rd tier Primera Ref. But I have them in 15th, being a little bit of a surprise package, I would say, this season, Leonesa. I have Albacete in 16th. I think Zaragoza will struggle again in 17th, and the team just above the relegation zone and surviving is Andorra from Andorra. So the 4 teams I have getting relegated are, in 19th, I have Cordoba, which will be only 2 years in the Segunda, and I think they'll be dropping down. I just have that feeling they won't. a big one. I think this is probably, I don't know, a lot of people are predicting them to go down, and I'm one of those people. I have is Mirandes. I think them missing out on the playoff, and they had a lot of players on loan last season. Mirandes, they don't have those players back. I just think they'll struggle, and I think they'll get relegated from nearly getting up to La Liga to then getting relegated is going to be a big, big, big drop off from them, Mirandes, and I have them getting relegated. And then I have the other two promoted sides. I have Greta from, well, actually from Africa, you could say, newly promoted as well. I have them getting relegated. And then at the bottom, I have is the B team of Real Sociedad, finishing last because I just don't think they really care, to be honest, Sociedad. Um, so that's my prediction on the Segunda table. Those are my predictions, as I said, on the Segunda. So yeah, that basically. Oh, all right. So that basically wraps up the show for today. Obviously, I will have the show on Thursdays at around 5 o'clock. But who knows? There might be some changes on some things, but we'll find out. But the next show, I believe, should be on Thursday, 5 o'clock. But also, I want to give a mention to one of the people in the chat. Obviously, I have a show coming up with Charlie from Charlie's Take, not No Filter FC, it's Charlie's Take. Because I am doing 2 shows with Charlie, I might as well just say it. I don't really mind. The first of the show that we're doing will be on Monday. Yes, this coming Monday, we will be having our first show, and that being the La Piña Rosa show, which basically means the pink pineapple. And you're like, what the F is a pink pineapple? Well, obviously, the show will be talking about Deportivo La Coruña of the Segunda. Meanwhile, the pink, the rosa on that is on Palermo, which is Charlie's team from Italy in the Serie B. So we'll be talking about both of those clubs, both in the second tier of both Spanish and Italian football. So it's called La Piña Rosa, which will be on Mondays, 9 p.m. Spain time, 8 p.m. UK time, and I think 3 p.m. USA time. Unfortunately, 3 a.m. For people of Southeast Asia, you could say. But yes, 9 p.m. Spain time for the La Piña Rosa show. Will probably take about, actually, we don't know because it's the first time we're doing this type of show. But yeah, we are doing that show on Monday, reviewing the games of the past weekend. And obviously, we're playing Granada. I forgot who Palermo are playing, but I know they're playing in one of the first rounds of the Coppa Italia as well. The other show I'm doing with Charlie will not come out until September, but it is a Champions League show regarding Tottenham Hotspur, his team, and Newcastle United, my team, because we're both in the Champions League. We'll be doing shows on both channels, actually. He's hosting the La Piña Rosa. I am hosting the Champions League show. We don't have the exact title yet, but we're thinking of Birds of Europe or Year of the Bird, something like that, because, cock and magpies, obviously, I support magpies. He supports cocks. He loves it. But yeah, those are the shows we're doing. And obviously, I'm doing my La Liga show, my El Toro La Liga show as usual. I am not doing any watch-longs of La Liga this season. I want to have a little bit of a nice, relaxing weekend, get to watch the games whenever I want. I want to have a life and all that. But of course, heading on to the upcoming season, looking forward to it. I might be going to the Deportivo game next Sunday, the 24th, basically. So I'm potentially going to that game. But yeah, as I said, people, please do hit the like button on the stream, subscribe to the channel, and the next show you might see will be the La Piña Rosa regarding Deportivo La Coruña and Palermo of the second tier of both leagues. But yeah, as I said, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and